I welcome you all for the video lecture on web technology. Here in this video, let us discuss the history of HTML language. In 1990s, HTML invented by Tim Berners-Lee. Elements used were title, paragraph, hyperlinks, heading, simple list, glossaries, and address blocks containing information about the document author and typically italicized. No facility for producing tables or fill in forms, much less for including images. Within a document. In 1993, Mosaic browser adds support for images, sound, video to HTML. Browser wars between Netscape and Microsoft. Then in 1993 to 1997, HTML was defined operationally by the elements that browser support developers choose to implement and the ways in which their browsers respond to their elements. Tim Berners-Lee launched the World Wide Web Consortium W3C in part with the goal of producing standards for HTML. Browser wars slowed and the standards community caught up. The cleanup effort. Change in HTML standards then come from the standards community more than from browser developers. Defining a language such as HTML or any computer language involves two aspects, its syntax and its semantics. The syntax of a computer language defines which strings of characters represent a document that conforms to the language and which do not. Example for a programming language such as Java, a program that compiles is a syntactically correct document. The semantics of a language is a description of what the various elements of a syntactically correct document mean. For example, a syntactically correct assignment statement in Java has a certain meaning. A variable is associated with a value that can later be referenced by the variable's name. Similarly, the p element in HTML 4.01 also has a certain meaning. Its content is to be displayed as a paragraph. The semantics of the elements and attributes in HTML 4.01 are defined using natural language. The syntax for a computer language is defined using some other language specially designed for the purpose of defining language syntax. A language used to describe the syntax of other languages is sometimes referred to as meta language. The meta language commonly used to describe the syntax of programming languages such as Java is called backes nar form, BNF notation. In fact, BNF notation could also be used to define the syntax for HTML. The cleanup effort, the meta language used to define the syntax of for HTML 4.01 is standard generalized markup language. Standard generalized markup language generality increases the difficulty of parsing is its feature allowing certain tags to be omitted. Parsing a HTML document involves creating an abstract syntax tree or parse tree. It is obviously more difficult to write a parser that allows for omitted tags. In 1998, W3C, that is the World Wide Consortium introduced the Extensible Markup Language, it's XML, a restricted version of HTML. A hypertext markup language whose syntax is defined using XML rather than HTML is called an XHTML language. XHTML 1.0, which was introduced in January 2000, syntax defined using extensible markup language XML. The primary differences are the HTML allows some tag omissions, example, end tags. HTML element and attribute names are lowercase. HTML names are case insensitive. HTML requires that attribute values be quoted. And we have a 1.0 version and 1.1 in HTML. 1.0 designed for use with limited devices such as cell phones. 1.1 defined using a grammar that is more modular and somewhat more complicated than a grammar used to define XHTML 1.0. So this is the relationships um, between, uh, of the HTML, XML, and HTML and XHTML. Thank you. Let us discuss the upcoming topics in the next videos. Thank you all.